Mark Ruffalo, are you crapping kidding me? Do you really have to pile on based on a headline? I am Mecca. Who are you? Why are you here?
I'm Rob off camera.
And, I saw this tweet come in about an hour ago. The rise in bad faith IMDb reviews, particularly for projects led by women and or BIPOC, whatever the crap that is, threatens to render the site's scores meaningless if the problem is not addressed.
BIPOC is Black Indigenous People of Color.
Green people or Black Indigenous people of color now?
Blacks, Indigenous People of Color.
Okay, who is that in this show?
Nobody, I guess.
Well, maybe that's your problem. They don't have any BIPOC, whatever buzzwords.
I think that was BIPOC's. I think that was Tupac's name before he became famous.
No, that's Tupac after gender reassignment surgery. I gotta address this. The rise in bad faith IMDb reviews. I did cover this. They were 50%, actually probably greater than 50%, fake positive reviews from 30-year-old women who didn't even watch the show yet. So don't you talk to me about these fake IMDb reviews when they just balance and cancel each other out. For crying out loud. My biggest issue with this show was not the women and the people of color, is the fact that you keep telling me every 5 seconds how oppressed as a woman this privileged white lawyer is. And that's what the problem is. So we're gonna have to bleep me saying two bleeps there, but that's what she is. She is a bleepity bleep of a lawyer. She is a white privileged piece of crap. And she thinks that the whole goddamn world revolves around her and that she's out there walking around in the 1950s getting catcalled for wearing a short mini skirt despite the fact she's dressed like Marsha Crappin Clark. So don't tell me Mark Ruffalo, and don't you go and try and promote this crap that here, you want to get into the Screen Rant article?
Right here.
Yeah. There you go.
She-Hulk's review bombing proves IMDb's biggest ratings problem.
Well, they let people fake review bomb it. The positive way.
But there's no way to regulate this. I mean, there's no way to regulate. I mean, it really isn't. She-Hulk's review bombing proves IMDb's biggest ratings problem.
Well, yeah, they got half of those fake positives on there. Yeah. They canceled out all the fake negatives.
Review bomb ratings for She-Hulk Attorney at Law further exposes IMDb's fatal flaw and why the site risks permanently damaging its own credibility. Well, is it a fatal flaw, or is it the fact that there's no way to defend it against it? I mean, in the wake of its premiere, She-Hulk Attorney at Law has become the latest in a growing list of movies, television series that have fallen victim to review bombing on the website IMDb.
People don't listen to this anymore, though. People don't listen to reviews and scores.
I mean,
you might glance at it and hear, your favorite YouTuber saying, "Oh, it's filled with whammon, whammon, whammon. I'm oppressed. I'm oppressed. I'm oppressed."
Yeah, well, the Internet Movie database popularity known as IMDb has become a go-to resource for casting news, release dates, and audience reviews, films and shows. However, as exposed by review bomb of She-Hulk, it wasn't review bombed.
No, they cancel each other out.
IMDb's intent to offer a credible index of genuine audience reviews has been massively undermined by one of its own rules and by the site's rise in popularity. The rise in bad faith IMDb reviews, particularly for projects led by women and or BIPOC.
There's no BIPOC in this.
Threatens to render the site's scores meaningless if the problem is not addressed. She-Hulk Attorney at Law is an MCU comedy series. I take issue with that. If it was a comedy, it would actually be funny.
Well, it could have been. And here's the thing. There's many, many good moments in this show that are immediately ruined and canceled out by this eye-roll, cringeworthy, and we're going to stop everything for a lecture about how oppressed I am as a white privileged woman.
So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Oh no, I am a successful, educated woman living in the big city, making it on my own. Mary Tyler Moore would be so ashamed of me. We have to have a moment where we lecture you about how horrible it is to be a woman. That's what they do. They derail everything. It's so horrible to be a woman. I get it. This is what happens to when you're a woman in the modern... Yeah, that's what they do. The show is looking to break new ground for the MCU in terms of style and form. First episode's drawn comparisons between characters She-Hulk and Deadpool, with the series looking to deliver a similar sort of self-aware, fourth-wall-breaking humor combined with sitcom tropes and superhero action. As a result, She-Hulk, that's a different show, attorney at law, has received acclaim to the tune of 82% critics rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Nobody cares about the scores on Rotten Tomatoes, though.
It's just an aggregator. I mean, it's just it comes out with an average.
Looking at the scores, thinking that they actually matter. They're going to go to their YouTube people that they trust. And even then, like, Angry Joe didn't give it a low enough score for some people.
Yeah.
I think that's all people want to hear is that, oh, it's awful because women. And that's really the only awful part of it is gee, I'm an oppressed white woman.
Yeah.
With white privilege, having all this money, being a lawyer in a rich part of town, when she's never actually known any struggle in her life. She's had everything handed to her on a silver platter. Even her student loans are going to get given, and I can't get $2,000 from FEMA to pay for my mom's cremation. Yet this woman is so struggling and so neglected, and she has it so hard. Screw you, Jennifer Walters. You are a rich, white privileged. I am sick of hearing how hard you have it. You know what? Other women have it a lot harder. Other people have to struggle for everything they get. Other people have to struggle for every view and every click and every subscriber. Other people get subscribers unsubscribing just because they upload because of YouTube's back-end glitch. And don't you tell me otherwise. I don't want to hear it from her, all right? I don't want to hear how bad she has it because she's got to stand around and be hit on in a bar. I don't want to hear how bad she has it because her student loans are still going to just get forgiven because she's so wealthy and privileged. Screw you, Jennifer Walters. I hope you get hit by a truck.
Well, anyway, this isn't getting solved right away. Maybe the problem is the show's not very good, okay?
It's written by a bunch of these wealthy, privileged people like Dana Schwartz, who have never had to struggle for anything. Dana Schwartz comes from an upper middle class family. Her family are wealthy to do
wealthy attorneys, I believe.
Wealthy attorneys,
real estate people. She worked for Jared Kushner.
Not a single person in Disney is ever going to have to struggle for anything. These
Dana
people
Schwartz
who come in and write this and get allowed to pitch this are of the upper 1%, upper crust.
Dana Schwartz is not going to want for anything. That's the thing.
Jessica Gao is not going to want for anything. They're going to get hired because of who they are and who their families are. And people like me are never going to be allowed to work in Disney. So I don't want to hear anything about She-Hulk's review bombing process or how tough it is to be a woman from some rich. Now, I know I use a lot of these buzzwords like white privilege, writer's room, and all this stuff because I want to clarify that from where I'm sitting, no matter what color these people are, Jessica Gao, she's probably Asian. Dana Schwartz, she's Jewish. From where I'm sitting, they have so much more privilege than somebody like me. It is disgusting. It is insulting. And to hear how oppressed they perceive their lives to be, and to project that onto this wealthy to-do lawyer just sickens me. This is why I've been yelling. This is part of why my voice is gone. So I want to at least kind of clarify where I'm coming from with that. And it's hard to focus on the show when it does this sort of, oh, well, here, you're so oppressed. And look at how wealthy Jennifer Walter is, and she's oppressed, and look at all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Dana Schwartz, Jessica Gao, and all these people. Even in a fictional universe, Jennifer Walters is not going to have to miss her shift at a McDonald's to go on a job interview or whatever.
No, not a one of these women, even if they don't have a job, even if they don't have a writer's room gig lined up, they can go and get money wired from daddy to pay for their wealthy, expensive, $5,000 a month apartments in New York or wherever they crapping live. They don't have to choose between going to work sick and not buying groceries for that week. They'll never struggle like a normal person has to struggle who goes to a normal job.
Well, that's why they invent struggles.
And it's so insulting for the rest of it. I'm so tired of hearing this. And you guys are tired of hearing this. You guys are tired of hearing from these rich, wealthy celebrities how bad and oppressed they are and they feel. And this was the whole point of the 2020 stuff when I started really railing on these celebrities where they're crying in their mansions feeling like they're trapped in jail. You are not trapped. You are not in jail. You are never going to go hungry. You never have to worry or beg or sell anything to make sure you can pay for for a bill. You never have to worry and stress about how you're going to afford your rent that month. These people have no idea what it's like for the rest of us. And I am so sick and tired of being lectured from these things. I think that's just what pushed it over the edge with this. This show would be okay otherwise if she had some struggles that everybody can get angry at. Because yeah, I'm going to get mad if I drop my cell phone or if I get cut off in traffic or whatever. But I am just insulted to my core that these wealthy, privileged writers' room people and these characters on screen, her cousin's a freaking nuclear scientist. Is that what he is? Nuclear physicist or something? These people will never want for anything. They have the connections and the money to get into the schools. This girl isn't paying off her student loans. Yeah, so we looked up how much a lawyer, a deputy DA makes in Los Angeles. It's about 100 and what?
Between 85 and 140,000 a year.
140,000 a year. Between 85 and 140,000. So let's go the low estimate because she's a woman, so she doesn't make as much as a man, So 80,000 a year. If she's making 80,000 a year by herself, she is easily paying $2,000 a month rent and her student loans. Probably they're going to cost her $2,000 a month, and she can deduct every bit of interest off of those student loans. That guess who pays for that? Me, the taxpayer. Us, the taxpayer. We pay for her to deduct her student loan debt. All right, the interest for that. But for crying out loud, I am so sick and tired of being lectured to by these Hollywood corporations. And I'm just at my wit's end with this, especially as a woman, as somebody who isn't from privilege, who isn't from wealth, who isn't from, like I had to work for years to get a 10-cent raise at Macy's, for crying out loud. And that was my annual performance raise. Oh no, it was 11 cents. Excuse me, that whole 1 penny made it so much better. Coming down from a guy who was so freaking wealthy and rich, he had a damn Rolex on his wrist. He didn't even have to work, but he comes in as a freaking manager because he's the right diversity. He's the right checkbox because him and his husband are friends with him and this other husband in the manager's club. So yes, I know what it's like to struggle. These women don't. I'm so sick of hearing it. How about you, Rob? You got anything?
I got nothing else. All right.
That's my problem with the show.
All right. Well, anyway. So, okay. I don't
What
think...
else you gotta say about it as a man?
I don't like the show. There you go. That's it. I'm done. That's okay. I don't have anything more to add. All right. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!
Step aside, please. We have white privilege.